Oh, we're live. Welcome here, Kitty. I'm Jonathan J.O. Owen, and I am coming at you from somewhere in Kentucky.
Hi, J.O. It's Kitty Kennedy. I'm coming to you from Lakeland, Florida.
Florida, Kentucky. Big difference there.
It is.
Well, so this is the only way I seem to get to be able to hang out with you.
Well, it's better. This is a good way considering how far away we are. But I do.
Yes.
I miss you every time we do one of these and see your smiling face. So
it's good to see you too, Kitty. All right. So yes, we are live. We are going to be doing a couple of reviews here. And so let's see here. Get everything all set up and going. And it looks like we're going good. So do you want to start or would you like me to start?
I tell you what, why don't you share with me what you've been up to?
Okay, today. Well, despite the fact that I've been doing a really good haul of bourbon, such as the Elijah Craig Rye.
Nice.
I have a whole bunch of other stuff that I found that I'll be pulling out over a period of time. But today and Monday, I will be doing, today I spent a good portion of the day developing cocktails for a wedding couple. And they had one for each member. And they wanted one for each of the couple, and they wanted one for their dog. So yes, the cocktails were very interesting. The first one said, I like Woodford Reserve bourbon. I like Manhattans. I don't like cherry, and I'm sorry, she liked old fashions. I don't like cherries in my old fashioned. I like, if they're cherries, there'd be 2 of them as a garnish. So I sat down and I developed some cocktails. First off, I went through, I did Blackberry Bourbon, and she didn't like it because it was too sweet. So I cut it way down in the sugar. And since being Woodford Reserve is already a sweet bourbon, I tried it with hands-on with a couple of different bourbons, such as I did one with Four Roses Yellow Label, and I did another one with good old Bullet. And of course, doctored it just a little bit to fit the palate, and in the end, we got it right, just tweaked enough to where that's one they wanted. The second one just was simple. I want a spicy margarita. Now, I can just go and make a spicy margarita, but being a special day, what do? You add that little extra for it, make it their own cocktail. So since I was just doing a twist on a spicy cocktail, I made a blackberry, a raspberry, and a blueberry spicy margarita. And it was all from scratch. And in the end, they liked it, but we just took all 3 glasses, mixed it together, and they decided that's the way they wanted it.
And what exactly did the dog get?
The dog, Jax, Jax. Jax wanted, they wanted a cocktail for their dog, which came out to be, they started naming off things that they liked. And so I said, when they said grenadine, not grenadine, I'm sorry, I've gone completely, Saint Germain, it was immediate. It was just, wait a second, I know the perfect cocktail for you. I was given this recipe for a cocktail, and it was just such a unique flavor that I thought this would be perfect. So it is gin, Saint Germain, and a little bit of simple syrup with a lime twist. And it's served in a Manhattan glass or a martini glass. And it's such a unique flavor. I cut the sugar down on a bit because I didn't want it too sweet. So I went from a 1/2 ounce to a 1/4 ounce. And then to help a wedding go, I topped it with some Prosecco.
Oh, pretty.
And then, of course, to carry over the berry theme, I put a raspberry in there. Nice. So they said their dog would love it.
I suppose when you have that special toast, you got to include your pupper.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm doing another one on Monday. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to it because that's where they just say, here's an idea, and they turn me loose, and I get in there and I start getting really creative and messing around with the flavors and profiles that I love so much. Okay, Kitty, that's what I've been up to.
Well, and I love that as part of a craft cocktail, and a signature cocktail has become such a part of special occasions, particularly weddings. I think that's really neat, and a great service for figuring out people's palates and making something special for them to make their day that much more memorable.
Oh yeah, it certainly helps.
Fun if they're having a bunch of them.
They had a really good time, and it was just a good time. I did enjoy it. All right. So what have you been up to?
I've been up to renovations, up to here with renovations.
Yeah, you just moved down there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I can't let you get close to that because it's literally about a half inch of dust, and debris flying around in here.
And yes, I'm going to say this is whenever if I go to Kitty's house, it is meticulously pristine. And I'm like, I live with 4 cats, a wife, and a kid. And it's just,
really clean.
And it's just, being that clean was in my bachelor days. Oh, maybe when the kid leaves and goes to college, I'll have that chance to get back to scrubbing every little corner like I like to.
Well, and I've been up to just making the rounds. I have several events coming up that are blind flights and experiences. So
you are really pursuing the cocktail. I'm sorry, the bourbon angle down there of getting people involved. I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, well, and I was doing that before. I mean, and then as things open up, I'll probably continue with like the corporate events, things like that. I thought that one that we did, which I have an idea for us, Jo, and I'm not gonna say it online because we'll talk about it, and then we'll make an attempt at it, and then we'll tell.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. Okay, because as you know, I love teaching bourbon, so they are gonna. As far as I understand, this Monday is not just designing cocktails. I'm going to be teaching a class on cocktails.
Excellent.
So the hotel is really wrapping all of this in and starting to put me to my potential use of designing and teaching and pairing and so forth. All right, now we've been on for pushing 8 minutes.
Okay.
And we haven't told, other than one bourbon, what. So everybody who's made it this far watching this, if it's not live or not, Kitty and I are going to talk about some of the things that we are going to be doing. You have run across some exclusive Florida-based bourbons. So would you care to talk about those real quick?
Sure. Well, this one I actually have been looking forward to trying. So here is the first one. I have a lineup of 3. If I get through all 3, that's fine, but I'll do a little tasting on this. But this is the St. Augustine. This one is located, the distillery in St. Augustine. And noteworthy about this particular bottle, 88 proof, because it's Florida straight bourbon. It's 3 years. It's been in the bottle 3 years. And this is a really high corn, 60% corn.
60%, okay.
22 barley and 18 wheat. So just that combination of a mash bill is sort of curious to me. And then noteworthy as well as St. Augustine is the oldest city in the United States. So I think 1500s or something like that. For any of you history buffs out there, I'd certainly like to hear from you. What I like about this distillery, and I haven't been to any of them yet, so I'm looking forward to making the trek. I've only been down here a few months. Is this one is really all about preservation of history. So it's housed in a old power plant ice plant from way back in the day. So they've done preservation on the distillery to bring it back to life, and I should say the facility to bring it back to life by putting their distillery in there. And then also all about conservation, and then they do a lot of local sourcing. So you'll see that in their website and in their content. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to uncork. So you know how good a job I do at this, Jo. So who knows how long this could take, Kitty, right? So
No comment.
You see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Oh, that was
you got it.
Anticlimactic. Oh my. Ooh, it smells good. Oh,
Okay. Okay.
all right. There we go. That's a bunch of glugs in my glass.
I heard that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it smells like corn. Holy smokes. Very grainy. Okay. So can you see the color at all? This is actually a pretty rich amber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It kind of it's not quite. It's lighter than tea. It's
right,
kind of got that honey color going.
definitely honey color. It's putting a lot of fragrance out of the glass from quite a distance away. So I'm going to jump right in here. It's got a lot of grain smell. I mean, it's.
Can you tell about how can you tell the ABV on there when you're smelling it?
88. So it's 88 proof.
Is it very distinctive when you smell it like that? Does it smell? No, it's kind of hidden.
Not ethanol at all. It's not. It's very. It's light on the nose, but it's definitely a strong grain. Kind of crushed corn smell. I mean, you really pick up on the the mash bill being heavy in corn. But
Does it? Is it? Do you know the age, perchance?
Well, it's 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
And they do a double barreling on this as well. Okay, so I'm starting to get some stuff now. So I'm getting toffee, vanilla, cinnamon, cinnamon s'more. Grainy. Yeah. Kind of leather. And then it's very. There's a lot going on in here. I mean, I can smell a lot, which is not overpowered by the grain, but leather, some oak, a little bit of smoke.
Okay.
All right, so
we're getting a smoke nose in there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it all? It's not sourced. You said it is all made locally, so it is true Florida bourbon. Okay.
And they're getting the grain. Okay, now that's got some sting to it, which is a surprise.
Okay.
For 88, I mean, I normally that's pretty. I would like something a little higher in the proof. I got some tobacco in now. Tobacco, caramel, vanilla, kind of moving towards caramel. The corn went to a sweet corn, like a cream corn.
Oh, cream corn. Okay. Do you kind of get like a metallic finish after the cream corn, like either tin or cast iron?
Yes, like a metal.
Okay.
Kind of like.
To me, that's normally signs of like a sour mash. So I've had it, of course, on new mash, but whenever I get like a cream corn taste, I always get that finish of a metallic.
This definitely has a lot of fruit as well. I can taste some like the peaches, plum, and then it's a very creamy, and the flavors are lingering. It's good. I mean, it's good. I like it.
I'm glad you like that. I know you've been looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I mean, I just moved here. I can't say anything bad about my Florida. Like, I just moved here, but I mean, it's got a lot. It's got a lot going on. I mean, there's nothing overpowering, but there's a lot in the glass. I mean, and I like the sweet, smooth finish of it, and it's like I said, it's creamy and it lingers. No burn, nothing. Like I have a nice warmth. It's even. This bottle comes in about $69.99, which I think that's a lot. I mean, there's other $69.99 bottles I would go for, but we always say, what's the measure of a pour? Is would I buy it, and if I bought it, would I drink it? So I would absolutely. I already bought it, so yes, I would buy it.
Well, you were experimenting with your purchase,
right? Okay, now as it sits in the glass, it went real caramel towards maple, the maple smell, that s'mores, there's some chocolate, but not um, not chocolate like a chocolate bar, like a baking chocolate, like the powdered cocoa. You know what I mean? Like like you bake with the powdered cocoa. And now the fruits, the darker fruits are coming, cherries. It's really nice. Jo, you would really like this one. So yes,
So you could,
yes, as I did, I would buy it again when this is gone. So I'm glad it's in my collection. And I'm going to work this into my rotation.
okay.
Don't
Don't forget to add it to your infinity bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a new gentleman here, or person here that's going by TK. Love your descriptions. You both bring these bourbons to life. Thank you very much, TK.
Oh,
and with that, I'm going to bring in mine. And here we go.
Ooh.
I managed to run across the rye. And I'm, as you know, this one's already kind of, as you can see, it's popped. I might have enjoyed this one a little bit already. Let me on here, and oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna go with my Juice Club glass here. Yep, no, what? I'm gonna do this one. I like the chimney stack on this guy. All right, now first thing when I pop this guy, let me bring this here so everybody can see the bottle next to me. I mean, just holding it right here is just, the nose is incredible. But the Elijah Craig Straight Rye, I didn't even know that. I walked into a liquor store and I saw 2 boxes right next to the private barrel. And I thought, oh, it's an Elijah Craig single barrel pick. I haven't seen one of those in a while. And I read the box a little bit closer and I saw it said rye. And I was just like, if this box is open, and the box was open, I reached over, I took one out of the box, walked up front. They didn't say anything, so I bought it, and it was $33. I understand that it is going to be a permanent item, but here we go. I'm going to start telling you first off, it is a beautiful color. The legs are taking their time forming. They linger. It is a beautiful hang. It just hangs on. But the smell is already just filling the area. First thing on that, just a quick, we're going to say flyby, is rye and caramel. Diving in, dry, honey, a little bit of maple, sweet pepper, and I'm kind of getting like a hot red rye smell. It's doughy. Like, have you ever done a rye bread dough?
Is it yeasty?
It's like a raw rye smell, but it doesn't choke you. It's very subtle. It's the nose is just very subtle, but like most of the time I can dive into this and I can I can just give you description, adjective and whatnot, but the nose is just pretty much what I've said. I'm just getting rye, pepper, caramel, a little bit of maple and molasses, touch of honey.
Well, it sounds.
But that's it.
Like it smells good. Are you disappointed with the nose?
I'm not disappointed at all. It is just, a lot of times when you dive in, this to me is a sign of quality, because, rather than sometimes, you get like, I'm only getting this out of it. And other ones is just like the other sign of quality is like bam, 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 adjective, adjective, adjective. Where this one, the nose is just simple. But okay, here we go. A soft elegance is the first thing that comes to mind. You would absolutely adore this.
You know how I like my rye.
Wow. where to even begin. You know the Sazerac quality.
Mm-hmm.
This is Sazerac level quality.
Really?
This is Bardstown letting me know they truly do know how to do their bourbon. Well, technically it's a rye, so shh. Don't correct me on that, guys. But man. All right, so let me give a full breakdown. This is going to open up with a splash of water, but it just goes down way too easy. I've just not really said anything, and then, oh, it's so good. It's so good. So here we go. An oak, dusty vanilla, dry rickhouse. It's going into a silo that has stored rye. It is so dry. Now I'm getting a light juiciness. There is a natural sweetness. I'm not getting any form of honey finish. Meadow flowers, Kentucky grain and meadow flowers, like you were in a field, Kentucky terroir. Truly oak up front. It does kick in with that spice, a bit of sweetness. Then it all becomes rye grain. I'm getting like caramel rye, red rye, pepper from the rye, oak, drying oak, hints of pepper. It is so soft. It is so elegant. It is just caressing the palate. It's like getting a massage. You know, it is just, it's not in your face, right? It is just like, hey, how's it going? Working it, just being such a beautiful flavor. It is absolutely stunning. Would I buy it? Yes.
I'm buying it too, Jo.
Oh my gosh, this is good. Now, I'm probably going to have 2 or 3 glasses after this. And the first night I poured it, I just poured a little bit in a glass and I enjoyed it. Then I poured myself another finger. And then I drank that and I poured myself a 3rd finger. I drank that. And when I poured my 4th one, I'm like, I don't normally do this. This is a good bottle. But it's just, man, you can enjoy this bottle. I am going to put a splash of water in here.
Good.
Just kind of to let it open up a bit.
What did you say the proof was?
Oh, the proof is 100.
100? No, that's
I'm
nice.
sorry, 94. I apologize. The other one that I was drinking was my Knob Creek Rye, which was 100. Wow, Jo, that is an incredible description. Thank you, TK. So here's a touch of water. Oh, wow. That just opened it up a lot. I don't think I've ever said this for a rye. It smells like custard. There's a lot of vanilla and a lot of cream. A vanilla custard.
Well, that you can't go wrong with that.
No, it's
that's...
I have described creme brulee, and this is I get that sugary crust, I get the custard, I get the vanilla, I get the cream. It really opened it up. I'm getting hints of oranges now. A lot of ryes already smell like this. So to me, this is a pure testament that it is now it's coming out with a splash of the water.
Are you getting any of the spice notes?
Okay, I'm getting dill. A bit of dill now.
Okay.
So the dill is showing up. I'm not getting, I'm kind of getting a light like alcohol tingle on the nose, but it's all hidden in there.
I haven't heard much spiciness. I mean, it's like, a little bit of a mint or spice or nutmeg, a little baking spice.
There is spice on the palate. Now that there's water, it is giving me that more palate slam. And I'm doing dry swallowing, which I normally get from like, how rye will dry out your palate. You kind of kind of that Kentucky hug. I got a very little bit of that. But dill is predominant. Green apricot, unripe apricot, is kind of showing up there. I like apricot, and so yes, I know that flavor because growing up on the farm that I grew up on, there were apricot trees that were planted about 200 years ago and had grown everywhere. And so they only ripened on one side, and then they went rot, and the other side was ripe. And so, so I would eat, and I'd get to that green apricot side, and I'd just throw it away. And so I know the flavor of a green apricot. So this is just, I get that apricot. It's hints of green in there.
Well, and what's interesting as you go through flavor profiling is finding yourself reaching back to your childhood tasting and food experiences, because they're so impactful. I mean, like, I think today is like, I love blue cheese, but if I had blue cheese when I was a kid, it was one of the most traumatizing experiences ever.
Like, what in the world am I eating? Yeah, our palates truly evolve.
And or you grew up on a farm, and I grew up where we had large gardens, and so fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, fresh everything really enhances your palate and your ability to taste something in a glass. And then baking. My mother was an extraordinary baker, so when you smell cinnamon raisin nut bread, you're like, it's in the glass.
Yeah, it's in the glass, yes. Yeah. And that's one thing I always teach, and this when I teach the bourbon tasting, is meditate on it. Close your eyes. Focus only on, not on the taste, but where are you? Where is your mind taking you? How old are you? What is that is around you? What are you smelling from that glass that is triggering in your mind? Because I've described that there's a nasal cognitive disassociation. It's an actual scientific discovery that you cannot describe and smell at the same time. So hence sitting and doing what I refer to as the meditation truly helps. But good God, this is good. And so, yes, Kitty, as of right now, next to the twice barreled rye from Knob Creek, this is unseated it. This is my pick of the year right now.
Where is it?
Only 5 months in, but I've had 2 exceptional bourbons.
Where we did the All Things Rye review, which put my handy against New Riff and Michter's. Where is it sitting in?
The Michter's tin? Oh boy. Where New Riff Rye was,
it's better.
Intense rye. It's elegant, it's flavorful, but it's good. This I would love to put into a flight with Sazerac and Sazerac 18. Because the Sazerac 18 has that toasted fluff. Well, I always go back to my original taste of it, which was the original Sazerac Rye 18. And when I was introduced to it, I was allowed to drink the original Sazerac. I was able to buy a couple of bottles of it that lasted me quite a few years. And now the last time that I had it, it's still good. It's just not that elegance that it used to be. And, I understand it's a lost item. And no slam against the newer one, because it is still very, very good. It's a good 18-year rye, but it's more peppery. It's not. When I've had that first one, it was vanilla fluffy. And I remember I was still learning my bourbon, and I was tasting. They started with like new mash. They like a 6-month-old. I was at this Buffalo Trace event my boss had taken me to, so I'd learned how to drink bourbon. And then now we're going to jump down here and we're going to try this. This is an 18-year-old Sazerac, and I took a sip of that, and I was like,
hello.
I can drink bourbon, And, it took a lot to, but that was the first one that I really tasted, and I thought, I'm going to be able to do this. Because there's something really good here.
Jay, I want to say how happy I am that you took that glass down, because your arms are moving, and I was just waiting for that to go flying, because I'm
a good half a foot behind it,
It
But the
starts
camera is making it look like I'm a lot
like
closer to it.
toss the bottles.
Yeah.
And you go into
Yeah.
elation when you toss the bottles in the air when we would do reviews together in person. So for those of you who don't know, Jo and I are in two completely different states. I have moved to Florida, and thus the reason why I've been reviewing today. I'm reviewing all bourbons and whiskeys from Florida. So I thought I would do a little exploration. Easy for me to say, exploration of the Florida, what Florida has to offer and what they're brewing down here. So the first one I did was the St. Augustine, and I am, loving on this Elijah Craig rye. I think that's how are we going to get that, Jo? How are we going to get that?
I hope you'll be able to, but I'll go back to my liquor store.
Yes.
And hope for the best. Maybe one day I'll find some more, and I'll snatch up one or two of them then. And next time I see you, I'll physically give it to you.
Yeah, I'll be heading north.
Because I don't know if it's going to make it down to your neck of the woods. Because holy crap, you will love this bottle, Kitty. Kitty, yeah. You'll love this bottle, Kitty. This is amazing.
Well, that's awesome.
Remind me about what the Infinity bottle is all about. Kitty, you want to take that one?
Okay, so the Infinity bottle is basically, I think it's the perfect blend. Every time I've ever had anything to drink, or every time we've ever done a review in the past, I have my Infinity bottle behind me here that I've been building. I have another one over there that's full. But every time you have a pour, the intention is that before you drink, you go ahead and you pour a little bit of it into your Infinity bottle. And then it continues to fill up. And at some point in time, who knows how many different pours you have in the Infinity bottle, making, I think, the perfect blend and your own home brew of whiskey, bourbon. When we did reviews, we had two Infinity bottles. One was called Hot Mess. It was absolutely spectacular. There were things in there like, oh my goodness, the White Dog, Mash Bill 1, rye and wheated. We had, oh my goodness, we did reviews on did we put the pickle? Did we put the
Yeah, we put the Tabasco sauce. And I think we put a touch of the pickle juice in there. We did a bit of everything. So this here, let me pop that off there. This is my new Infinity bottle, which it is a globe. It's a 750 milliliter globe, and you can't quite see it, but there's a clipper ship in there.
I like it.
And I love this thing because actually it does spin on there. But
that's good for mixing because I have to do
does it taste good? Yes. Surprisingly, it does, because what is so unique about it is it's ever evolving.
Right.
And so like I haven't poured any of this in there yet. So I'm going to go ahead and add this one. This one has a touch of, right now it has a touch of Lefroy. It has Buffalo Trace. It has some Weller. It has Dickel. It has Benchmark 8. It has a bit of everything. So it's just basically, it's very simple.
Are you doing a true Infinity bottle in that? Are you cross-pollinating? Like if you're pouring yourself a scotch, you're going to put some scotch in there?
Yes, occasionally I do that. I'm not putting like any vodkas or tequilas in there. Well, no, I'm not doing that. I'm doing strictly whiskeys.
Okay, so if you have Irish because I would not put scotch in mine. I just feel like the peaty dirtiness of it takes over.
Yeah, honestly, for me, it's the smokiness. I really do enjoy messing with the smokiness, and it's just so that is what I did there. And of course, the beauty of it is I can give it that good spin, but also it looks really cool on my liquor shelf.
This is my latest, and it's an antique, and it's very heavy crystal. I don't know how heavy it's going to be when I fill it, but it's like I broke my other one. We had what? Hot Mess.
Make it the man. Make it the woman.
The woman.
Yeah.
Hot Mess was our first one. That was full, and we did get some pours out of that. We had some sipping out of that. But and then what was the second one we have?
After party.
That's over here.
The after party's over there?
Yeah. Okay.
Now, what should I call mine in the Earth with the clipper ship? The globe. I mean, what should I call that? It's like I don't have a name for this thing.
Well, let's put it out there to the audience.
Yeah, okay, audience. Think of a good name for my infinity decanter here, please. We'll go with it from there.
Yeah, it's a lot of we'll see world something about the world.
And for those that are seeing her, that is a niece. That's my yes, you heard your name. That is the queen of the house.
And Jane will have issue with that. All right, so do you want me to head into this one here?
It is we are 35 minutes into it. Sure, go ahead.
All right, so this is the second bottle. It's Old St. Pete.
Old St. Pete.
Old St. Pete, and obviously this one would be from where in Florida. St. Petersburg is where this craft distillery is. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one. This one is also 88 proof. Seems to be a number in the bottles that I've been finding. Wait, let me uncork.
Is it a bourbon? Is it a whiskey?
This one is a whiskey. This one is a pot stilled distilled. Oh, that's okay. I'll withhold comment until I get into class. All right, here we go, Gluggen. There we go. I do like the bottle. If you can't see from the light there shining on it, it's a sun. It's like very sun, and it has the welcome to the Sunshine City, Old St. Pete Premium Whiskey. This is batch number 1.
Oh, nice.
Bottle number 9721. I hope that's good.
Can you hold it up again, Kitty?
Oops. Yep. You good there?
Okay. Yes, I can see that. Thank you. And what's the ABV on that one?
This one is 44 as well, so it's 88 proof. And obviously, for anybody who's new bourbon drinkers, pot stilled is just a different type of distilling as opposed to column still. It tends to be.
Yeah, the pot was the original style of stilling.
Right.
If you've ever seen a Willet bottle, the Willet bottle is designed after the pot still.
Oh, and I have that here. Let me grab that. So,
yeah.
And it's like, again, can you see that?
Yeah.
There.
So, yeah, just as you can see there, folks, it's the base of it is where it sits, and then it rises up the top out of that top there. And where the gold sticker is where they open it to check and add mash and do other things. So it's pretty cool.
It tends to be pot still will be more for a small batch. This is a small batch pot still, and your column is bodes more for production type of.
Yes.
So
and then of course there's the coffee still, which just keeps distilling, and you have to physically release it out of that.
All right. Okay. This is This is a minimal amount of nose for me, but what it has to offer is very strong. So I do know that they have introduced oak chips into the finishing. So it's
okay. So they're cheating a little.
Yeah. So smoked oak chips were introduced into this, and I tell you, you can really tell. I mean that is for me a bit dominant in the nose. The color is considerably lighter than the other pour of the St. Augustine, but this is still still a nice color. This is more more towards the honey.
Yeah, it's very it kind of has that aged moonshine color.
Yeah,
remember when we did our barrel aged whiskey, and Vanessa Kitty has joined the chat.
Vanessa Kitty. So light in color, no age statements on any of the anything I have read on the bottle. I do get a little bit of vanilla, but it's a more floral, fruity.
Okay, are the chips showing up?
Not nothing overpowering here in regards to I guess the smoke. I'm getting the smoke from the oak chips, but fruity. I smell the smoke. I smell the wood. I and vanilla is trying to fight through, but not a lot coming out of the glass. Maybe when I do some water, but at 88 proof, I mean, I'm just going to end up with a water.
Do you want to answer that one, Kitty?
Oh, sorry, I missed the question.
I just put it down there at the bottom.
That's a really great question, Vanessa, Kitty. I believe from some of the other bourbons that have introduced, like was it Oaken Spire?
Yeah, they put the wood spire in there.
I believe that is absolutely what they're trying to accomplish, in addition to introducing some additional flavor. So, I don't think that you can get a lot more aging by putting them in there, but I think that smoke is very evident in this glass. By smoke.
What is it's not like basting your chicken, it is putting extra barbecue sauce on your chicken.
Exactly.
They're just trying to add extra flavor because you can't speed it up. And this is a way that they're trying to add extra to hide the fact that it is so young.
Well, and I have to say, the apple is strong for me.
It's very appley. Okay. Green apple or red?
A white apple, a light
apple. Okay. Not gotten that before.
No, that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and take a taste.
Yeah, I have a cat in my lap, for those who are wondering. She climbed in my lap, and it's me keeping her from in front of the camera.
This is a brown sugar.
Brown sugar? Okay.
Brown sugar just showed up, kind of like a caramel apple, but not as strong with not caramel, but a caramel apple, but a real faint. There's some nice spices. I mean, I'm getting a little baking spice. That's kind of a surprise as well.
Baking spices, okay.
And this, this is like frosted flakes in the milk. Like drink the milk after you.
So it's very sweet on the nose. It's sugary. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Vanessa has thrown out they want a smoky flavor, trying to cheat time. I think that's cheat time. And the correct process. So they're trying to cheat time and the correct process. So yes, it's just a way to get around and add flavor to hide that your whiskey is young.
Yes.
A lot of people have been doing that, using quarter barrels. I mean, when the big bourbon boom started, you needed to get a product out. And, it takes a good 4 years to make a good bourbon. So what do you do till then?
Right. There's no cheating time, but I think the smoked oak chips introduced a note that would not have otherwise been this evident. So cheating in that regard, but I'm not getting any oak. I'm not getting any wood in.
No oak. Is it just all smoke coming through?
Yeah, but not strong. I mean, it's nice. It's nice. I mean, it's like somebody lit up a little bit of a campfire and just a little waft has kind of come around. This is a very, very short finish. It's just that's lacking for me. It does not stick around at all.
It doesn't stick. Okay.
If I smell it, drink it, it's good, and then it's gone.
Okay, so that is. I imagine if you were to put water in there, it is just going to become very thin, very out. I kind of think of it as angry alcohol, where it's just hot and fiery. And
by introducing the water, you bring out, back to what Vanessa Kitty said. I worry by introducing into something like this that it makes it go to a negative place.
Yeah, it just becomes watered down, alcohol flavored, and you get a lot of green. Okay, Vanessa has just said this is more of a statement. When making barbecue briskets, say in my smoker, it takes me 14 hours of cooking over coals and wood to get close to perfection. Way to go, girl. That's the way to do a brisket. Oh, yeah.
Russian goodness like that.
Yeah. If it takes a brisket and a pour of smoke flavor from a jar on it and roast it at 400 for 2 hours, what do you think it would taste like? Lol. That is exactly what they're doing with the bourbon by introducing the chips. They are making, it's like, I describe it as microwaving a steak. You
Oh,
can't, it's still cooked.
yeah.
It just don't taste right.
So this comes in at a low price. I mean, it drinks drinks at that price, maybe a little better at $28, $29. Would I buy it? I did.
But would you rebuy it?
Well,
we're not going to go off of this. Would you buy it?
to go, but I tell you what, I think I could make, I think it could go in a cocktail. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's got a lot of good things happening, but it's 88 proof. You really, you can't, like I said, you can't put a cube in it. It's going to end up being watered down. But I do know that it was a like Sunshine whiskey and an American Heartland whiskey aged in old barrels. They did that, but then the smoked oak chips. I mean, I don't know. I like all I got was the smoke from that part of it. So I like it. It's not something that I would pursue. I would use what I have now in a cocktail with a a light wash. Maybe I'd make an old fashioned out of it. But overall, like I said, I'm new to Florida. I want to make sure. Will I go to the distillery? Absolutely. And I do love anything that's pot stilled. I am a Willet fan, so I'll give it a thumbs up.
You give it a thumbs up, but would you buy it?
Give it no.
If you were forced to, like there was nothing else there to buy, and you needed a bourbon fix.
I would drink anything if there was nothing else to buy. You know me.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So yeah, I definitely ended up with a winner with my rye, Kentucky, my Elijah Craig rye. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely love this bottle. I cannot stress enough. If you see it, get one. This is hands down, as of right now, my personal whiskey of the year. So I'm looking forward to it. And I have a friend who is, he has asked me to take him on a tour of the further down south toward Bardstown, some of the distilleries down there, in which I really hope to finally be able to hit the Angel's Envy Distillery. And since it is new and it's operational, I'm looking forward to that. So that's on my bucket list, and hopefully I'll be doing it soon.
That'd be fun. And I'm actually looking forward to, I mean, I haven't been to any of the distilleries, and as things have opened up, I really am looking forward to the St. Augustine Distillery in particular, just because of the history of the building and it being the oldest, the oldest city in the United States. So it's, 1500s. I mean, there's got to be a great story there. They do tout themselves as being the #1 like craft distillery stop in America, and I think it probably is a combination of it being a historical site, city, and that it has a pretty darn good bourbon to offer as well. And they have a whole lineup. And I didn't do the port. I almost grabbed the port, but I was like, no, I just wanted to stick with the straight bourbon. And then I'm going to get the port because everybody recommends that port. Hey, Vanessa, have you had the St. Augustine port bourbon?
Well, let's see here. She says, she said this about, it's a different question though. Yes, I think that the chips or charred chips does something to the alcohol. It does, but dissolving esters in the alcohol is done all the time. I just don't make it in bourbon. And then she says the military base has Elijah, I think. And so if you can get this, the Elijah Craig bourbon is good, but this rye is a fantastic treat. And I was trying to okay. And she also says, here we go. Oh, wait, wrong one. There we go. Not yet, but I will hunt it down. I have a bottle of Sazerac downstairs. Maybe next week, I will find.
I love rye.
I'll find a way to shuffle it and do a blind flight.
Oh,
so I had to find out which one I think is better. And because this is just, for me, as you know, I like to have the baby. This is the baby Saz. It's not the 18. Mm-hmm. When you get the baby Saz is one I almost always have on my shelf. And the Rittenhouse Rye is another rye that I always have on my shelf. If I can get it, it is the Sazerac, but I almost always have Rittenhouse. Those are my two favorite ryes. on my personal bourbon shelf at home. So I always have those two. I have Colonel E.H. Taylor, if possible, and New Riff. And if I possible, I like to have the Weller and whatnot. But I don't count that because that's a rare find. And so ones that are always on the shelf, those are the fours that I try to always have. Elijah Craig, Colonel Taylor, New Riff, and of course the 2 ryes. But now I'm probably gonna have 3 ryes. So
you have quite a rotation there of your ryes. And Vanessa Kitty, I love ryes. That's the higher the proof and the higher the rye is. Like, I just love that peppery, spicy, minty, sassy finish. I love it. So
of course you do with that sassy minty flavor. Yeah. This is it's so clean. Yeah. All right, so we are pushing into 51 minutes, and you said something about a challenge.
I did.
Okay.
So I wanted to throw a cocktail challenge out to.
Oh, it's a cocktail challenge. I thought you were wanting me to try and find you something to ship to you, but okay.
No. I'm going to be making my trek north here, and I'm pretty much going to fill my vehicle on the way up and on the way back, hitting every liquor store that I can find that has something to sell to me. But I wanted to put a cocktail challenge out there once in a while because you are quite an extraordinary mixologist. And I think that there's such an art form to taking any spirit and turning it into something savory for people to enjoy. And you know me, I'm like a throwback to old school cocktails. I love the Renaissance, which is now, a mainstream of, the old fashions, the Manhattans, and a Tom Collins. I mean, all the old school cocktails. But I have not really seen anyone. This is your challenge. I have not seen anyone do anything fresh for a Harvey Wallbanger.
For a Harvey Wallbanger.
Yeah. So
okay. Enlighten our audience in what goes into a Harvey Wallbanger.
What goes into it?
Yes.
Well, the main ingredient could be Galliano. So I think that's, it used to be when I was a kid and we would go to a supper club in Wisconsin, because that's where I'm from. The very tall Galliano bottle was like, it was the most important bottle in the bar, but it was always full and no one ever drank it. No one. But then I thought, when it's empty, I want one because I could put coins in it. So that was what the Galliano bottle was for. But so that is one of the main ingredients in a.
Yeah, it is. It is just basically, it's a tall triangular bottle. Well, it's a cone-shaped bottle. And 375 is about a foot tall, where the 750 milliliter is about 2 feet tall. And it's filled with what looks like a syrupy lemonade.
Yeah.
And so my natural thought is, it's going to be bright, sugary, and floral. And I took a sip of this, and I was like, ooh, herbs and falernum. So a Harvey Wallbanger, you want a twist on it.
I want a new Harvey Wallbanger, and I want to see what you can come up with.
Okay, I'm going to have to talk to my fellow bartenders at work, and we're going to see what we can come up with.
I shall Okay, I shall study the Harvey Wallbanger.
I have one of my bartenders is Ethan, who is a lawyer, and he is also holds the I want to say nationwide championship for deadlifting.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he looks like a classic meathead, but he is one of the smartest fellows you will ever meet, and he is also one of the best looking gentlemen you will ever see in your life. I mean, you see him in our suits that we wear at work, and I know he's a good looking guy because every girl that walks by does like that when they see him. Double take. The second one is Dee, who is my Turkish coworker.
Tell Dee how.
I'm kind of curious to see what she is. And then there is Teresa, who is about 4'2", and she's Asian. But she loves to mess. We all love to mess around with cocktails like this. And so we're just going to start talking, and we'll see what we can turn up then.
And it's quite frankly, I've been Ted and I, we love to go and visit some of the establishments around here and see what they have. And I mean, and you see every version of every old school cocktail refreshed, renamed, but I have not seen a Harvey Wallbanger on one menu. So you, J.O., will bring back the Harvey Wallbanger. And so, yeah. Well, next week I'm going to ping you as well because I'm building a flight. So next week for me, I have a group of 8 ladies that I am doing Bourbon 101 with.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I'm building a gentle flight for them. So some of them are bourbon drinkers, but many of them are not, and they want to learn the art of drinking bourbon. And I'm so excited. Anytime I can introduce brown spirits to to some of my friends, that's one of the best things. And then I have like I said, I have several more formal events that are coming up for bourbon education and bourbon flights and blind tastings and things like that. So I'll make sure I take a bunch of photos and put them on our social media so you guys can see what's going on. And same thing, Jo. So when we get back together, I want that Harvey Wallbanger recipe.
All right. Okay. As of right now, it looks like I'm going to have most Thursday nights off. But I am going to say the beginning week of June, I'm going to disappear and I'm going to go to visit my friends over in Kansas City and Connecticut area. So we can always try and schedule a live stream I can do on the phone, and maybe I can do it from a bar.
Awesome. Oh,
but Vanessa Kitty says there's an old glass blower here in Connecticut. Maybe you can get an awesome decanter if you were to do that. Kitty likes to try and find old school glass bottles.
Yes.
So I enjoy them too, but Kitty's more into it than me. Okay, so a Harvey Wallbanger, and there was something else I wanted to mention that I thought would be a perfect way to kind of wrap this out, but naturally I can't remember it now that I need to talk about it.
Well, hopefully you come visit me soon, Jo. I got a lot we got to burn through.
And she says she lives next to the Bradley Airport. Yes. So I definitely will have to hit you up down there. But that was one thing I just wanted to throw out was when I went to Lexington 3 weeks ago, every liquor store I went into. And so I got some really good stuff. That's how I came out with that great haul that day.
Yes.
All right.
I got ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's good to see you.
It is good to see you too. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for dropping in. Kitty and I want to try and make this a special just where we are doing because since we are no longer next to each other, doing videos is kind of hard. But I do have an idea that I'm going to talk to you about, Kitty, in which I think we might have a way of doing some videos besides doing these live ones. But I'll talk to you about that when we're not live. So there's everybody. There's a little sneak peek of what might or might not happen.
Awesome.
All right. And it was good to see you too, Kitty. Have a wonderful day. Kitty Kennedy, it was awesome seeing you too. So take care, guys. Hopefully this time next week, but we shall see. Cheers.
Right. Cheers.